If you're spending less than $500 on Meta ads and you're not profitable yet, this video is going to change everything for you. I'm going to show you exactly how a small budget like yours can be spent on Meta ads and turned into an ad budget that actually pays for itself on day one. There's a few strategic and technical things that you need to change inside your ad account, probably a few marketing and messaging tweaks inside your funnel, and honestly some mindset stuff too. By the way, if this is your first time watching a video on my channel, my name is Batu. I'm currently running a marketing firm called Advergent, and here what we're doing is we're building profit first funnels for B2B companies such as B2B SaaS, agencies, or even info product and coaches and consultants in the B2B space as well. We also help some of our clients with improving their sales processes such as their show rate, their close rate, and so on and so forth. We do this through complete acquisition engines such as VSLs, landing pages, pre-call sequences, and a curated sales process based on the business that we're working with. And in this video, I'm going to share you the exact framework we use in the ad side of things. So the first mistake I see a lot of marketers and founders make is they tend to overcomplicate their entire funnel when they are running only on a small budget. For example, they create low ticket funnels and then webinar funnels, paid challenges, etc., etc. And I get it, like you see these big companies do all of these things and you want to do the same as well, but bear in mind you have small budget to play with. So if you spread your budget too thin amongst so many other things such as low ticket funnels, webinars, and paid challenges, etc., you're gonna just give you the chance of being unsuccessful, because playing all of these are actually pretty advanced. They require high volume work, they require high volume input and output, and most importantly, they require high advertising budget. And if you have small budget, you'll be running on a lot of constraint. So in this case, what we usually recommend for our clients is to scrap all of these funnel types and focus on one thing that is going to be the most incremental when we are starting with a small budget. And in most cases, the funnel type that is going to be the most incremental for your business is going to be a cold funnel where people click on your ad, land on your landing page, and then book in a call with you or with your sales team to have a sales conversation with them. And the structure for this funnel is pretty simple. You have your main headline over here, which answers the question of what's in it for me. And then you have a sub headline that explains the how. And then you have a video sales letter that explains the entire unique mechanism of your solution over here. And there is also a CTA button right below this VSL for people to book in a call with you. This is the above the fold section. There is no navigation. Bear in mind, there is no navigation. If you want to have navigation, no matter what we usually recommend is no external links in the navigation. You will have your logo over here. You will maybe have a few links over here that scrolls to the section that it represents in this landing page. And also a CTA button that you can put in here, just like the same as the one you have in the hero section. And that is it. The above the fold section should answer what's in it for me, how, and finally, the third most important question that you need to answer when you are running cold funnels or any kind of direct marketing from Meta advertising is why you. So what we're doing is right below the above the fold section, or if it's possible, even in the above the fold section, we have our case studies or any kind of a social proof that is going to prove that our solution is actually legit. And the reason we're actually trying to answer all of these what's in it for me, how do you do this, and why you questions is because we're optimizing this landing page for cold traffic. And cold traffic means people do not know who you are or what your solution is, or even if the solution is for them. And after you grab the attention in the ad side of things and you sell the click to the prospect and they click on your ad, what you need to do is answer all of these questions right away so that they can validate this solution in their minds and make the decision of booking a call with you to have a sales conversation with you or with your team. And after that, there are typical sections such as why section. Why section is the why this solution, and then the problem section, solution section, with the most important one, FAQ, at the bottom of the page, because people are going to have questions even after you answer the what's in it for me, how, and why you questions, like what's the process, what's the investment, how long this will take until we see results, etc., etc. So when they actually go into this landing page and they convinced it in the what's in it above the fold section in your landing page, what they're gonna have is questions that they are going to be seeking answers to, and they're going to find those answers in the FAQ section over here. And this entire funnel structure is engineered based on making the most amount of profit in the first sale, in the first month of selling the service or selling the platform to your prospects. And we try to have a high ticket offer that we can sell in this landing page, because if you're selling a low ticket offer, this is a little bit of an overkill to structure a landing page like this. So even if our clients at Advergent is like, B2B SaaS that are selling actually lower ticket products in the beginning or lower ticket platforms, what we encourage them is to have an concierge activation offer that they can actually sell to their clients who have the budget and the money that is coming from this meta advertising traffic, and capitalize more on each customer on day one and actually validate this kind of a funnel in order to generate demand and leads for their business and close deals. And the key thing when we are building these funnels and we're running traffic to these landing pages for our clients is we launch these with a control structure. We do not dynamically change everything in a landing page, or we make custom things, because when something doesn't work out, we know that the funnel layout is not the problem in that marketing effort or the marketing campaign, because we have done this like 100 other times and it has worked for other clients. So we try to understand what is the problem with the marketing side of things rather than the funnel layout or the funnel structure. And honestly, that is the best way to diagnose a problem, especially when you are running on a small budget. Now that is one side of the funnel, which was a landing page. Now we're going to talk about the advertising side of things and the ad creative side of things, which is the most important in my opinion, because if your ad creative cannot sell the click, the rest of your funnel does not matter at all. And because of this, you need to test your creatives properly. So when we launch ads, regardless of the budget, we try to come up with at least 30 diversified unique messaging so that we can diversify our messaging as much as possible, especially after the Andromeda update that was rolled out mid last year. We try to differentiate it as much as possible and create completely different ads. And the reason being is that after the Andromeda update, Meta actually punishes you for having two similar ads inside the ads manager and has your CPMs skyrocket if you have the same hooks that you're repetitively testing, same body type, same CTA, same messaging, same angles. What it wants is diversity. So the old method, when we used to run ads for our clients like a year ago, 2 years ago, was this. Either we would have a specific audience that we would pick and then create a lot of dedicated creatives that looked extremely similar to them with like only one variable control in between these. Or we would have a creative that is broad enough, that is talking to the 90% of our total addressable market, and then we would test them with interest stacks inside the ad sets with a lot of different audiences. Now, the problem with these audiences and these old methods is that once you do this, your messaging becomes extremely repetitive and it becomes extremely broad. Yes, having a broader message is actually much better in terms of the scalability of the ad, but Andromeda does not want this, because when you have 30 ads that has broad messaging and they all sound the same on the fundamental messaging level, Meta actually penalizes you, because what it thinks is that it thinks these creatives actually overlap each other, just like this, and they are not differentiated. So the new method that we find to be working the best is dedicating each concept to a single audience and then diversify the messaging based on that one each concept with different hooks, different holds, and different angles. Because when you do this with, let's say, 4 audiences all at once, what you're ending up is around like 200, 500 ads that are drastically different from each other and do not really overlap on top of each other, which is going to keep your CPMs at the level that they need to be. So making one creative and then creating 30 different hooks in order to test the creative and find the winning hook and then doubling down on the same creative, it's over, it's dead. And there's a simple exercise that I like to do with my clients when we hop on a call before creating any kind of a campaign or whatsoever. And it is writing each one of your audiences one by one with fairly detail that we can play around with, so our messaging does not come across as broad. So let's say you sell cold email services to IT companies. One avatar could be IT companies that are not doing cold emails yet. Another one could be IT companies that are doing cold outreach and cold email, but they are not doing segmentations in their campaigns, and they are just sending vast cold email campaigns with the spray and pray method. So under each avatar, what we would do is outline all the reasons they would buy from you, all the pain points that they are currently experiencing, and then all their desires, which is, booking calls, and then also the case studies that they would resonate with them. So for example, for an IT company that is not doing cold emails, one of the ads could be, want to start sending cold emails for your IT company, which could be a direct advertising. Another one could be a proof ad. Hey, we have booked 40 calls for this IT company. We can do the exact same thing for your IT company as well. You could also run an objection ad, such as, you think cold email is going to ruin your reputation. Here's where you're wrong, etc., etc. And then each one of those angles that you come up with are going to be their own individualized ad that is going to run inside the ads manager without overlapping on top of another creative. And this way you could probably create like 500 different ads that is going to have the entirely different messaging. But for a small budget campaign, I would recommend sticking to 3 or 4 avatars that has the highest possibility of buying from you, and then aggressively targeting them. So determine 3 to 4 avatars, get super granular, and then make sure that each one of your ad has a unique messaging towards those avatars that is speaking to one specific pain point and desire. Now that we have discussed the ad creative and the landing page side of the funnel, let's discuss the funnel friction a little bit, because this is where majority of the people mess up. Some people try to minimize the friction as much as they can, and some people just maximize the friction without knowing that they're actually maximizing it. But what you actually need to do is having a medium friction in the funnel, and here's what I mean by that. So qualification is extremely important when you're running a cold funnel, and there are 2 reasons for it. 1, you want to have quality sales calls, and then 2, data learnings. Data is extremely important because what you're reporting back to Meta is going to determine the quality of the leads that you're going to come as you keep spending money on Meta ads. And in order to dial in this qualification and have a good standard of prospects that are coming to the sales calls, we need some kind of a friction inside the funnel that is going to eliminate the tire kickers and the people that are unqualified overall. And you need to have that conditional formatting and the friction inside your application form. I forgot to mention this in the landing page probably, but the CTA button does not go to the call booking page immediately. What we want to have is having an application form that is asking a few questions to the person that is willing to book a call with you, so that they can, and also you can understand if these people are qualified to hop on a sales call with you. And the way we are doing this is persona qualification and also financial qualification, these 2 most important things inside the funnel. Persona qualification is, for example, if you are running an ad campaign as a cold email agency that is targeting IT companies, one simple question could be, are you running an IT company or a member of an IT company? And there could be yes and no. And if they click on the no, they are just going to be routed back to another end page that is not going to fire the event back to Meta, and Meta is not going to get a notification from that opt-in. So it is actually completely gonna overlook that specific action that was taken by that person. But if they click on the yes, your pixel is actually going to fire it back to Meta as a lead event. So Meta is actually gonna know that these are the type of people that you want to have inside your funnel. And also, as a financial qualifier, we like to have a question of, in case this makes sense to make an investment, are you financially in a good position to be able to invest in this kind of a solution type of question. And if they click no, they're going to be routed back to the same page where they would click on no for a IT service company question, and Meta is not going to be notified about that event and only gonna have the people who click on yes fired back to Meta by the pixel. So Meta can actually optimize the call booking actions based on the signals it receives from the pixel, which are going to be highly qualified if you do this conditional formatting. And when you're talking about an application form, I don't mean like asking 10, 15, 20 questions to a prospect. Start with maximum of 4 to 5 with the name and the email included in those 4 or 5 questions. And that is the medium friction that you'd like to have in your funnels. Now that we also covered the friction part, I'd like to point out a very important trait that you need to have when you are running ads, because I know it's very stressful because you're putting your money into something in order to get back some more money out of it. It is not like cold email. It is not like any other, outbound or demand generation or, ABM kind of an effort. And that trait is being patient. You have to be patient on a small budget. Because when you run ads, you are basically collecting data, and that data collection Meta has determines the results that you're going to be getting from your campaign. And if you have a small budget, your data collection is going to be slow, and you have a high budget, your data collection is going to be fast. It's simple math. What I see constantly amongst my clients and the people that would like to work with us is like they're spending $100, $150 a day, and then they run the campaign for a week, and then they wonder, why am I not getting any results? They probably spend like $700 to $1,000 in ad spend. They booked 1 or 2 calls, maybe none of them, and then they start panicking. And then they develop this self-limiting inner belief that Meta ads doesn't work. I'm gonna just shut off the campaign and then I'll just do cold email, etc. And this is a wrong approach, because you need to give it time. You need to collect data. As much as the algorithm of the Meta, especially after the Andromeda update, is excellent, it still has some kind of a flow in it that it needs to learn from your messaging, from your landing page copy, from the people that are coming into your funnel, so that it can optimize the traffic based on the findings and have the highest quality of leads coming into your funnel eventually. And especially if you're running ads for the first time with a new ad account, with a new pixel and everything that is built entirely new. And on top of that, you're only spending $100 a day. That is only $1,400 of ad spend in 14 days. It is nothing when you look at the grand scheme to build a profitable acquisition system that is also predictable for you. So let's say if your target for cost per booked call is around $200 to $300, you need to let the algorithm learn and optimize for that over time. And the reality is that sometimes campaigns do exceptionally well from the get-go. Sometimes they need to collect data. You just need to be patient and give it some time. And do not turn things off just because you're patient and you only spent $1,000. And the last thing, which is one of the most important parts of the funnel, is having your sales process dialed in. Because at the end of the day, you're paying to acquire leads, and might as well optimize the post-booking section of your funnel as well, because if you do not have a really good sales process, your chances of being able to close these prospects and leads are gonna go down dramatically, which is gonna hurt your ad spend anyway. And especially when you're running on small budget, you won't have so many opportunities anyway. So every single lead that comes into your funnel needs to feel like the most important person in the world. And that means implementing the confirmation page as well, in which 8 to 10 videos with like 1 minute to 3 minutes each, explaining the frequently asked questions, what's the timeline, what's the process, and so on and so forth. And then as the reflection of the confirmation page, you should also have a pre-call sequence. And this is not like some BS reminder sequence that you send out of Calendly or cal.com. It is actually truly valuable emails that you send out to your prospects in order to reduce the knowledge and the information gap that they have about your solution, so they can come to the sales call with the sales conversation ready type of status basically. And this includes, hitting them up with organic content, having an omni-channel presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whichever makes the most sense for your vertical, having email and SMS flows, and also sometimes, which I do not really recommend, having on small budget advertising retargeting as well. Also, the fact that your closers are going to be the ones that are going to deal with them, or you personally, if you're taking your sales calls, sending them video selfies, Loom videos, voice notes, adding them into an iMessage group chat with your SDR or with your with the other members of your sales team is going to be extremely valuable for them to be able to ask the questions they have in their minds prior to the sales call, so that they can actually come to the sales call with the decision ready, status, and state of mind. So that is the entire framework we implement for our clients. I want to touch at every stage of the funnel so you have the full picture without too much explanation. But if you wonder how you can do this in detail, there are other videos in this channel that you can check out in which I explain every part of the funnel in detail with as much as valuable information possible. But overall, simplifying your conversion mechanism, diversifying your creative testing, and having a medium friction in your funnel for the starters is going to be extremely valuable for you, as well as optimizing your sales process for the highest amount of close rates that you can ever have for your business, so that you can actually put the cash that you generate from the ads by closing the deals and put it back into ad campaigns and create an engine that works for itself and generates a predictable pipeline of leads that are gonna end up being customers for your business. So if you want to implement this, it's ready for you. You can study it and learn. You can do the guesswork. But if you want to actually cut the guesswork and if you want us to implement it for you, there's a link in the description where you can book in a call with me. We will try to understand your goals and what you'd like to accomplish with your business in the next 6 to 12 months. And then we're gonna draw a custom roadmap for you. And I'll explain how we can be successful by running meta ads for your business. That's it for this video. If you got value out of this one, please make sure to like the video and leave a comment for any questions that you might have. And also, if you want to keep receiving these videos from my channel, do not forget to subscribe so that you can get notified when I upload a new one. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.